What's up, family? What's up, family? What's up, family? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, it's time for folk tales for grown folks, right? And I'm just trying to get stuff together. I was a little bit behind. Got a little bit behind, but you know how we do here at the journey. We're gonna make it pop. We're gonna make it go down. We're gonna have some live conversation. The black line is open. Cause we already did the toast, so we ain't got to be all formal. Y'all can feel free to call in so that we can have some conversation. I want to do the folktale. The folktale, trust me, it will tie in. It will tie in, so don't be frustrated. But I want to make sure you know that you are now standing in the congregation of the mighty, the home of the stubborn minority, the place where your hustle builds muscle. This is Giami Journey Media. I am your host, Brother Hatim, and of course you know that this is Folktales for Grown Folks, and it's a Heart of a Simple production. All day, every day, where we strive to blow up your old paradigm. Alright, let me make sure I send everything out there. I sent it out. Yep, I sent it out there. I sent it out there. We up, we streaming. Everything is good. Everything is good. And the only thing that's missing is your beautiful self. So the call-in lines are open 614-556-4535. Once again, the call lines are open. The black line is open. And I know I've been promising y'all we gonna move the technology up. I can do some stuff on gnj.media, but I'm not going to do it right now. I can do something with Ninja OBS, but I'm not going to do it right now. Right? Don't know what I'm waiting for, but I'm waiting for something. I'm waiting for a major push or something. But anyway, let me go and read this folktale just in case somebody want to call in. Let me say that number for you again, 614-556-4535, the title of the folktale. And I misspoke this morning because we did do the butcher and the oxen. Was a very good story because I was like, damn, I didn't just do that on one of my short, because I do a little short piece. If you follow me on Instagram or even on Facebook in our story, I do a folktale short, FFGF, folktale for grown folk short. Just throwing out some thoughts out there, and we covered it. But then during the conversation 2 weeks ago, I brought this folktale up because it was fresh in my mind, and I was thinking, I said, there is no way that I brought this up in a conversation and didn't do it. So what happened was, in the titling of the last one that we did, the last folktale for grown folks, I ended up mistitling it. And I titled it The Salt Merchant and the Ass. And I know these be sounding like pornos, but I swear to God, it's all clean. It's all clean. It's children friendly. Trust me, it's children friendly. I know it's hard to trust, but just trust me. It's all children friendly. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say that, but what I'm saying is, you know, you could share the folk tales with them without any fear. But let's go and look at this folk tale for today. This is a real good one. I'm just posting up one more picture, posting it up on gnj.media just in case it decides to start streaming. Let me expand this chat box. All right, so here we go. Let's do it. The title of the folktale today is The Lion, the Mouse, and the Fox. I mistitled it again. I said The Lion, the Fox, and the Mouse, but it depends on what you're looking at. And you look at the nice little picture I got on our stream, and I got a picture of a lion and a fox. Couldn't find one of the lion, the fox, and the mouse. But I want you to listen real close to this one. Because I think this one, all the folk tales at some point in time in my life have come into service. But like I said, this one lined up with where we are as a group more so than a lot of other ones. the lion, the mouse, and the fox. So let's read. I am going to be pulling it from Aesop Fables. Of course, it's by Aesop, but this one I'm coming from the George Fowler Townsend translations. The reason I like this one, this Aesop Fables that you're looking at, because they got many different translations, as well as sometimes they have other stuff. And I wish they had a membership, because a lot of these ads I really would want to get rid of. I really would get rid of, and I would actually pay for this site because I use it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm really big on myths, folk tales, proverbs. You know, it's one of the few things that I can actually read and not really get knocked out. I start reading, you know what I'm saying? I've been struggling with this since college. I would read and I start sleeping, so I go to the library, and it didn't work at the library. It don't work nowhere. It takes me a long time to read, you know what I'm saying? But I can listen to stuff and still get sleepy. But like the folk tales and myths and stuff like that, I really, really get a thrill out of it, you know. But anyway, so we are on, here we go. A lion, fatigued by the heat of the summer's day, fell fast asleep in his den. A mouse ran over his mane and ears and woke him from his slumber. He rose up and shook himself in a great wrath, and searched every corner of his den to find the mouse. A fox, seeing him, said, "A fine lion you are, to be frightened of a mouse." "'Tis not a mouse I fear," said the lion. "I resent his familiarity and ill breeding." "It is not the mouse that I fear," said the lion. "I resent his familiarity and his ill breeding." So I'll post this up so that you can see it. Here's the, you know, and they cut it, you know, they separate it. So you got to look at the ad. That was pretty smart. I might need to do my blog like this, because he got the ad right in the middle, and it separates each of the proverbs. It separates the moral. So the moral of this one is little liberties are great offense. Once again, little liberties are great offense. Let me open up the lines. I said the lines was open. Now the lines are really open. I just noticed that they weren't all the way open. You know, somebody probably in there listening to some music. And if you are, I apologize. Little liberties are great offense. Now, and I won't hold you that long, especially if we don't get no call-ins. But, really, this one doesn't have a lot of different translations. And small liberties can be a large offense, right? So now what we got is we got a lion. In the mythology, a lion is the king of beasts. A lion is the king of beasts. And he goes to his castle. If he's the king of the beast, he has a castle. He goes to his den. And in his den, fast asleep, a little mouse runs across his mane and his ears. And he gets up and he checks every corner. Now, once again, I'm just retelling the story, but I'm gonna bring home some points, so trust me. So a fox sees what's going on and say, you know, it's kind of lion are you? Kind of lion are you? You know what I'm saying? Because you know the fox had to be thinking about this first. What the hell going on? Lion scared of a mouse? What kind of lion are you? Scared of a mouse. And the lion said, listen, it's not the mouse that I'm scared of. It's his familiarity and his ill breeding. See, that mouse violated the order. That mouse operated outside of his space. That mouse was supposed to maintain being safe in the corners and running around the edge of the cage, trying not to be noticed. But that mouse was bold. That mouse stepped out of his place. That mouse showed absolutely no fear or respect for this lion. The lion is the king of the jungle, supposedly. The lion is the king of the plains. The lion is the king and the queen of the den. But when he was asleep on a hot day, seeking comfort in his cave, in a place where he has order, in a place where he's supposed to rule, in a place that he would die to defend, his sleep is disturbed by something small, something minuscule, something not even worth the lion killing. But the lion want to find this mouse. Fox don't understand. See, because the fox is sitting on the outside looking in, and the fox just having comments. You know what I'm saying? What kind of lion is scared of a mouse? And the lion brought the point up that he wasn't scared of the mouse. He was scared of the disrespect that the mouse showed. He was scared of the familiarity that that mouse showed. He was scared of the ill breeding that that mouse showed, because if that mouse was able to survive, what would it create? Who else would it inspire? How many more mice would disturb him in his sleep and do things boldly when they used to do it secretly? The lion didn't want the mouse to become familiar with him. You ever notice, like, for example, at your job, it's like it's a certain level that you go with your supervisors. And a certain level that your supervisors go with their supervisors. And there's certain levels that those supervisors go with the boss. Unless y'all came up together, y'all might go to a barbecue together, y'all might go out together, but unless y'all came up together, there is always a gap there. I'm not trying to get too familiar with you, you're not trying to get too familiar with me. When you go to court, there's a certain way that you proceed, there's a certain way that you act. You can't act like you know the judge, you can't act like you're just talking to the judge in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You can't act like you can't talk to the judge in a familiar way. As a matter of fact, you need a translator called a lawyer that is able to translate what you want to say and what you need to say to that judge so that judge can understand. Because if not, that judge has your life in his hands and he could go on and even on minor offenses do something dastardly to you. Charge you a fine. That's unnecessary. Hell, if you disrespect the court, you could be immediately thrown in jail or even charged a fine. Can't get familiar with the judge, especially in the courtroom. When you go to another country, you can't just walk up to the border and be like, "Hey, I'm here," and they let you through. No, you got to follow the rules and understand the rules of that country, and you got to have a passport with a visa that says that you are allowed to come into that country. You ain't allowed to get familiar with that country. And then when you're talking with the officials of that country, you got to talk with them with respect in order to get what you want, because they're not going to let somebody that's just disrespectful into their country. They're not supposed to. Familiarity, as they say, breeds contempt. Somebody just post something. Still doesn't matter. There's a power dynamic no matter how long you know them. I don't necessarily always agree with that, but I do. I hear you. I hear you. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Well, maybe you don't. I know you do. But anyway, just starting shit. But anyway. But let's I want y'all to look at this. And what does this got to do with us? As a people that for the last 40 or 50 years have made the statement that we are descendants of kings and queens, that we're goddesses and gods, that we're sovereign people and we're the original people of the land, people are acting very familiar with us. They're running across our mane and our ears without any respect, any account. They're running across our borders and setting up trade. They're running in and telling us how our children need to be educated. They are very familiar with us. And we allow them to be familiar. As a matter of fact, we want to make them feel as familiar and as comfortable as they possibly can. And family, if that's not good enough, if a lion got more sense than us, there's something wrong. You don't just come into a lion's territory and do what the hell you want, especially if you prey, especially if you competition. See, this lion was concerned about the mouse, because if the mouse got away with what the mouse got away with and the mouse was able to go and get other mice, you got other mice that's going to become disrespectful. And Lord knows what happens when other animals that are bigger than mice start getting disrespectful. See, because there's a certain order that has to be maintained, and you can't maintain that order if you are familiar, or if everybody's able to be familiar with you, if everybody's able to run over your mane, if everybody's able to scratch your ears, is everybody's able to want to feel your hair texture when they feel like it, if everybody is able to tell you what you are supposed to wear and what you are supposed to do, they're too familiar with you. As a matter of fact, they own you. As a matter of fact, they have domesticated you. Hell, even in our homes, some of our children have become too familiar with us. They become so familiar, they become our friends, and we are no longer parents. We're their buddies. Let me see. Hold on. The best. There's order. There's still order there. Once again, call line are open, 614-556-4535. Call in. Ain't nobody gonna bite you. I ain't fighting nobody. I don't want no violence. But many of our children have become too familiar with us. They're running over our ears and running on our mane. Oh, it's just the kids. Oh, it's just the government. Oh, it's just the education system. Oh, it's just other people outside of our cultures and with the corner store. Oh, it's just the drug dealers. Oh, it's just everybody's familiar with us, and when they're familiar with you, they don't respect you. Shit, the lion had enough sense to be like, look, I got to kill this little motherfucker. I got to kill him. I got to find him. Because not only is it the familiarity, I want you to think about this, because this is an old one, right? Ill breeding. This mouse don't know its place. Ill breeding. Ill breeding produces offspring that don't know their place. And I can't have this in my kingdom. I can't have this in my den. And I know a lot of people gonna miss this one, because I'm telling you right now, family, it was some familiar shit that happened a few days ago with that young baby, that young lady. Very familiar shit, right? And I ain't talking about familiar that I kind of recognize some of the behaviors, but I'm just talking about some very familiar shit there that could have been squashed, right? Who was running the house? Who was the adults and who was the kids? Everybody appeared to me to be chilling in that motherfucker. Right? There was no order. There was no rank. Children were the same as an adult. As a matter of fact, that's what many of the lessons that when you go into these professions, this is what they tell you about our children. Our children are equal to us. They know what's good for them. They know what they want. You're 35 years old. You negotiating with our babies. Because they might know better than you what they need in life. I wonder how that shit would have flowed. I wonder how that shit would have went down 40 years ago. I thought I knew better than my grandfather for at least a half an hour after they woke me up. You know, after I hit that reality, never had that issue again. That's just me. I know some, and I know some of y'all real sensitive about that shit, and that's cool. I'm just, actually, I don't even give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, we're at a point where we're talking about building culture, but yet, we can't really address the shit that we need to address. Because we got people that's so familiar with us that they feel that they could tell us what we supposed to do and how we supposed to do it. They just familiar with us. You know what I'm saying? They so familiar with us. I mean, well, let me put it this way. It's a little bit even deeper than familiar because it's almost like many of our paychecks are connected to the mouse. I want you to imagine that. Imagine that the reason that the mouse was able to run through the cave and run over the lion's ears and run over the lion's mane was because the mouse was paying the lion. The mouse domesticated the lion. The lion served the mouse. And I think that's what's happening with us. The lion is serving the mouse when it comes to family. The lion is serving the mouse when it comes to economics. The lion is serving the mouse when it comes to politics. The lion is serving the mouse when it comes to education. The lion is serving the mouse when it comes to a social system. One of the things, like, for example, in Giame, we talk about self-mastery. We got a concept called self-mastery, right? And in self-mastery, one of the things we talk about is the self. And the self is the absolute, complete, and perfect qualities of a being that are not controlled by external circumstances or not influenced by external circumstances, however you want to look at it, right? And one of the things that I came to terms with a long time ago is that if the true self is absolute, complete, and perfect, then what's my fucking problem? Now, because I want y'all to listen to this. If the self is absolute, complete, and perfect, then what's wrong? I mean, absolute, complete, and perfect qualities of a being that are not influenced by external circumstances. Okay, cool. So if that's myself, then what is wrong with me? See, because the self, when you really look at it, the self is the ancient part of you. The self has always been here. The self is as old as the universe itself. This is why it's absolute, complete, and perfect. It is that creator quality that lies in you. It's that piece of the creator that you have in you, and it has experienced all things. And if we are able to quiet down and listen to it, it could guide us through all things. Now, but let me tell you what the issue is. The issue with our lives is that it's not the self that's running it. It's the personality. So we got this thing called the self, the lion, the self, the ancient one, the self that has been exposed to all things that's absolute, complete, and perfect, that is ageless, that is being run by the youngest part of us. What is the youngest part of us? It's our personality. It's who we think we are. It's as old as you are in Earth years. It's your personality and your emotions being moved in the moment that causes a lot of confusion in your life. That drowns out the voice of that higher self. That's old as time itself, that has had all experiences and can guide you through damn near anything. But it is the 32-year-old you, the 42-year-old you, the 52-year-old you, the 62-year-old you that supposedly know all the shit and is fucking up. It's the mouse, your personality, running the lion. The self. And you know, part of the problem with some of these folk tales and these proverbs, man, because it's like our ancestors have already mapped this shit out. It's like none of the issues that we are really dealing with is new. You ever realize that? None of the stuff in all our lives, or we're talking about personal lives, or we're talking about communal lives, or tribal lives, or national lives, none of this shit is new. The ancestors have laid it out for us. And because we hide it with, because they hid it with things like lions and mouses and stuff, and we turn them into cartoons, we don't learn, we look past them. We look for complex, confusing shit when really the best life is achieved by engagement with systematic processes. That's some simple shit. That's getting up at a certain time. That's setting a simple pattern in your life. That's some simple shit. That's some shit from our ancestors. And I got one more thing. In the military, there is a line between officers and enlisted men. I don't know if anybody out there that's ever been in military, if you can go and help me out with that. Am I right about that? Even when I was in NJRTC at school, once I became an officer, there was a line at which, especially when we were doing our stuff as far as the military, that had to be drawn between me and my friends. If I was an officer and they were enlisted, right, there were certain things and certain shit that they wasn't privy to. You just had to do what. See, in other cultures, you don't have the mouse running over the lion's ears and running through his mane and waking him up on a hot day. But we sure got it in our culture. And it's a simple thing to fix. One of the things that, like, for example, if you have not tuned in and checked out In Class with Carl on Karen Hunter's show that come on, they was coming on every Kaumba at 12 noon for almost 53 weeks, something like that. They just took last week off. But one of the things that, Greg Carr was pointing out was that, because he kind of kept building up on the importance of the early education system and how things were the pre-integration piece and how organized some of our schools were. Because the issue wasn't that our schools and our teachers were less skilled. The issue was equal access. We pay equal taxes. We deserve equal equipment. We deserve equal books. We deserve shit. You know what I'm saying? We deserve a sidewalk outside our goddamn school. Right? We deserve a bus. But, you know, and I won't go into this too much, but in a sense, that whole piece got twisted. But one of the pieces that he's been pointing out just a little bit at a time is that the education system that we had developed for ourselves prepared people to serve us. It served us all the way up to a point to where that was the generation, those children that were coming through the education system had moved us all the way up to where we were now. And I know a lot of people are like, well, we ain't that far, but it is different. Please believe me. Now, we can look at some statistics. Some statistics is fucked up, but I wouldn't want to be young when my grandfather was young. I'm just keeping it all the way real with you. I'm just keeping it all the way real with you. Right? And it was our education system that we had designed for us to teach lions how to be lions. And to teach lions that they're not supposed to be run by mices, by mimesis. It's simple, right? I mean, it's grab hold of our education system, right? Just saying. Because that's what we did when we came out of bondage here. One of the first things we did was grab hold of the education. We didn't turn our children over. No, we start preparing them for the next step. And the next step, and the next step. And I'm telling you right now, other people were able to see that and immediately or systematically started moving in to destroy that shit. Now what we got? We got our children being taught and prepared to serve others. And many of us fight tooth and nail to make sure that they are well trained enough to go and serve others. Our education, the education system of any people is supposed to train them to serve them. It's supposed to, like, if lions, because lions don't need education. They know something that we don't know. They don't have to teach a baby lion how to be a baby lion. But if they did, I'm guaranteeing you that baby lion would learn how to be a baby lion. That baby lion would learn how to be a better roarer. That baby lion would learn how to mark his territory. That baby lion would learn how to properly hunt. With the best methods for him hunting. He wouldn't be taught how to hunt like a hedgehog. He wouldn't be taught to hunt like an alligator. He would be taught to hunt and move like a lion. And I'm guaranteeing in the lion school, they would not be training the young lions to allow mices to run over their manes and fuck with their ears when they sleep. As a matter of fact, you saw what this lion's reaction was. This lion's reaction was he was going to comb the den until he was able to find this little mouse. He was going to kill the mouse. He wasn't going to give him a stern talking to. He was going to turn him into a snack. Because I don't want no more of you around. Now, I don't know what type of schooling. That's the ill breeding. I don't know what type of schooling you getting. And some of us, we need to really look around and understand that when you hear the term ill breeding, they're not necessarily talking about what went into the sexual act, the genetic material of the people. That's part of it, but that's not all of it. The ill breeding. Part of the breeding process for us is what we learn and how we learn it. We don't just make children sexually, we make children socially, we make children educationally, we give children the building blocks to become who they are going to become. And if they are becoming something that does not serve us, we are teaching the lion to be run by the mouse. And hence, we get what we're getting. We got mices coming into our communities with guns. What the hell do you think a mouse gonna do when he runs into a lion and he got a gun? No matter how smart the mouse becomes, no matter how superior they tell the mouse that he is, the mouse always knows that the lion, regardless of whether it's male or female, with just a growl, can knock him off his goddamn feet. So what do you think a lion gonna, what do you think a mouse gonna do when he come into your neighborhood and surrounded by lions? Even though the lions don't know who they are, I just need to kill one of them so I can make sure that they know. Come on, fam. It ain't hard. It ain't complicated what's happening. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. Let me get up off of here. How much time we been going? Well, we only went 39 minutes. So there's no call in. 614-556-4535. African saw a tiger sitting beside a dog and was not convinced it truly was a tiger. True story. Tigers don't sit with dogs. I ran into a proverb the other day about a lion. I want y'all to listen to this one. It said, no matter how bad the economy of the jungle is, a lion will never eat grass. Oh, you grass-eating niggas. Oh, we some grass-hate-eating niggas right now. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? We got the teachers. We got the skills in every city to train up the generation that will kill white supremacy. Just like our ancestors trained up the generation that killed Jim Crow. And the reason that system is not here no more and it was broke up in the way that it was, you was told a lie. It was broke up because they already knew that if we continued developing our young people in some of the ways that was happening all over the country, there's no stopping us. We'd be running this. So I need to interfere with your education, with your socialization. I need to get you geared so that you start really believing that it's not about your group, it's about our group. And when you serve our group, you serve the universal truth. See, that's what many of us is caught on. We think, because it's not that we think white is better. Some of us know it's not better. But many of us look right past the fact that everything that's good is white, but we don't consider it white. We just say that it's universal. The way they groom themselves, that's the universal idea of clean, and the way they trim their hair, that's the universal idea. So we replace the idea of whiteness with this whole concept of universalism, and we keep trying to fit into it, not really realizing that we have been conned again, and now the universal shit that's out there, this is the universal way you're supposed to raise your child. No, it's not. No, it's not. What's up, Blackie? What's going on? John Hansel, son. Huh? I ain't got nothing but water. You want to have a sip with me? Give me a second. I'm about to end the show. One of the young warriors had popped up in here real quick. So let me see. Brother Kwame say, before we get convinced that we're mere parochial. Yeah, exactly. They have tricked us into believing that what they do is universal and it's the universal truth. So we train our children up. So we got our children chasing awards that matter of fact, it's so bad for us now, we don't even see that it's white. It's just universal. College is universal. Come on now. Come on now. When we know for a fact that most individuals that's going to college is coming out draped with debt and is in a worse condition than we have ever been in, and a new chain for your ass is the universal idea of debt. That ain't African. That shit ain't even black. Come on now. Holler at me. See, I ain't gonna bite you if you call in. You know where it's at. It's upstairs. What? It's upstairs. It's in that one cabinet where my mom keep that stuff. On the bottom. What is it? It's the blue bottle. I'm on air, man. It's the blue bottle. It's, get the Alka-Seltzer. Anyway. So once again, the number is 614-556-4535. Once again, that number is 614-556-4535. Hit us up on the black line. Let's build, baby. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm lying, check me. If I'm wrong, check me. You know what I'm saying? Because, this is Brother Hatim's opinion. This ain't Giami's opinion. This is Brother Hatim's opinion. Right? I can't speak for all of Giami. But I am a thinking man. And I'm pretty reasonable in most cases. I get, y'all, I get excited and start yelling and shit. But after I sit down and think about it, if I'm wrong, hey. Don't have mother's voice to talk. I understand, bruh. Kwame, hey, your presence is enough just being where you are, my friend. So there's no other comments, it gets real quiet around these parts. It gets real quiet. Just don't put it on screen. All right. All right. So, there's no call-ins. I'm going to shut it down. So this has been, I want to remind you that you are now listening to, my fault, you are standing in the congregation of the mighty, the home of the stubborn minority, the place where your hustle builds muscle. This is Giami Journey Media. I am your host, Brother Hatim. Of course, this is a Heart of Simba production. And I want to thank you for joining us on Folktales for Grown Folks. And it's a Heart of a Simba production. All day, every day. Where we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Like I said, if there's any comments, keep them coming. I am going to answer the comments. But I want to thank y'all.